Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We are super excited to welcome our future freshman class of 2028. I was thinking of how big that number seems. Parents, do you agree that that seems like a high year number? I always like to ask this question to start. How many of you is this your first child coming to high school? Raise your hand if it's your first child. Quite a few. For how many of you it is your last child coming to high school? Yeah, let's go. Me too. No. And then the rest is, so it's kind of a split. Always an exciting night. Our goal tonight is just to share a bunch of information. If we would wait all the way till orientation in August to share more about what it's like being a freshman, the things you have to do to be ready for it, etc., we feel like it's just too late. So we always bring in our new class right now, and right now it's a class of 144 students is how many have right today. My guess is that'll grow as time goes on, but we're excited to have you as a part of KML. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Jamie Leering. If you don't know who I am, I'm the president of KML here. This is my 10th year serving, and just been a blessing to me and my family as well. So we'll give you kind of some helpful tips and tricks and things to get you ready for next year. But first of all, just want to thank you, parents, students, for choosing KML. We do believe that this is a partnership. We're working together during 4 really important years for students. Those of you who are going to be freshmen in the room, my guess is you're a little bit nervous. You may not admit it, but you're also super excited to move on to something different in the next. And I'll tell you, from my perspective, as I watch kids come in from grade school, they typically really enjoy the freedom and excitement and the fun things that they get to do in high school. Not the homework as much, but you'll be fine. You'll figure it out and it'll be okay. But you'll look forward to that transition. So parents, thank you for choosing KML among the many choices that you have. Here are a couple of quotes up there that a couple of our students, these are actually 2 students who came to us later. They came to us freshman, sophomore, or junior year. And I put those 2 quotes up there to help you understand that there is something special that goes on here. And that something special is built off the foundation of Christ that we have. As you know, Jesus has done everything for us. We're fully forgiven. We're fully free. We get heaven as a gift from Him. But then we have the opportunity to reflect that in our lives here. And you'll see that if you're nervous about all your different teachers, high school students, they all love you. They all care about you. They all want to see you succeed. Even the ones you've heard horror stories about. I promise you they're not bad people. Yeah, see, you've all heard stories, I know. Just know that they love you and care for you. Sometimes they show that by making you work a little bit. But that's okay, because that prepares you for your future. So this is a reminder to you as well, students coming in, that we have high expectations for you. We have high expectations for your behavior, not because of any silly reason besides the fact that we have the opportunity to live our faith together, and that makes this place a really fun place to be every single day. This is just a reminder of who we are, our vision statement. We believe in a Christ-guided success path for all of you. Kids, you probably have, some of you might know what you want to do when you grow up right now, or you might think you want to know, but you have a lot of years left to get to that point. Whether it's going to college when you're done, going to the military, going to work, going to tech school, going to internships, whatever it is, we're here to help you along that path to get there. And high school is a chance to try a lot of different things. Our values are like our curbs. They guide us. Everything here is built on the truth of Scripture. You know what you're going to get. If God says it, we're going to work to do it, right? The together part is the family part I talked about. Our goal always is, again, to work together. Families are not perfect. There's struggle, there's challenge, there's trouble at times, but we have the opportunity to work through those things together. And finally, tomorrow, we're going to continue to grow, we're going to continue to improve, we're going to continue to work together so we can give you the best education from an earthly standpoint, but also prepare you for your eternity as well. Super exciting, you'll be here. This isn't next year. We can't start building in like a month and it'll be done by August. It's not going to happen. It's like a year long, but our new building program will be here by the time you're a sophomore, so that's pretty exciting as we look forward to new gymnasium space, a fitness center, more classrooms. Right now, we believe our building can take us somewhere around 650 students. Next year, we'll probably be about 570, and this can get us to 750 and beyond, so we're super excited about that. All the seniors and the juniors are a little bit depressed because they see all these pictures all the time, and they're like, we're not going to get to be a part of that. But then there's some people maybe out there who are alumni when the school is just like a box. Anybody out there who are just a part of the box? And there it is. So you're like, we had it different too. It's going to be okay. One last piece from me. And parents, this is for you as much as it is for the kids in the room. High school is a chance for kids to grow from being dependent on you, God willing, to being independent, so that when they leave here, they're ready to go out, learn some more, and be fully functioning adults. Students, what that means for you is everything's going to be new. Your schedule is going to be different. You're going to have a bunch of new classmates, a bunch of different teachers, but you also have a lot of choices to make as far as classes and activities and what you get to do. You get to be more independent, but with that becomes responsibility. So kids, we kind of treat you, we kind of allow, it's almost honor code, like we allow you to do a lot of things here, and we expect that you take that, you live God's way along with it, and enjoy that experience here at KML. Again, I just want to thank all of you for being here tonight. Thank you for being a part of our KML family. I want to pass it on to our Director of Student Culture, Mr. Albrecht.
They're clapping for you. All right, my name is Dan Albrecht. I serve KML as the Director of Student Culture. I'll explain that all in a little bit, but before I get into that, I just want to talk to you a little bit about all the activities that you can get involved in here at KML. Up on the screen, you see our activities office folks. Joe Griefka serves as our Director of Activities. Amy Nass and Michelle Zach support him in that role, and you'll get various emails from all three of those folks with lots of information about activities. First off, my encouragement to you students is to get involved. Most of our students do. God has blessed you with all sorts of great, unique gifts, and I want you to take those gifts the next 4 years and use them to His glory. When you get involved in activities, you get to meet new friends and try new stuff. Some of our students who got involved in fine arts and athletics, they got involved for the first time when they were in high school, so don't be shy to try new things. Throughout the year, you'll get all sorts of emails from coaches and advisors encouraging you to sign up and try out for things. You'll start getting those as soon as your account is set up. Mr. Shanek will talk about that in a little bit. You can see all of the variety of activities we have here at KML, from athletics to organizations and clubs and to fine arts. There's something there for everybody, and lots of our students get involved in a multitude of those things. Coming up this summer, there's all sorts of camps and clinics. You can find information about that on our website, kmlhs.org/camps. A lot of your coaches will start organizing conditioning, and fall sports practices are coming up, and there'll be weight room usage in there. Contact those coaches or Mrs. Nass in the activities office for more information regarding that. At this time, I'm going to introduce a couple of students here at KML. They're going to share some advice to you. One of them is a freshman. Annalise is a freshman. So she's got some advice for you. She was in your seat last year at this time. Brett is seasoned, so he's got a lot of great advice for you. He's a sophomore. They're going to share a little bit with you.
Hello, I'm Annalise Kiefer again, and the first slide would be about opening your locker. It's not that hard. After the first week, I pretty much didn't have any problems with it, and it did help that I did have a locker sign that had my name in big bold letters on it for jazz, but either way, it's a very easy process of finding your locker and opening it, and after the first week, there are zero problems.
Hi, I'm Brett, and I just want to say a few words about new school, different classrooms. So at the beginning of the year, it can be a little stressful, and you might be a little nervous about finding all your classes, and I think that KML does a great job of having teachers and even students out in the hallway directing you to your classes and always making sure that you're getting to your classes, you're finding your teachers, and it's just a very easy process.
Next, try things out. I tried out for almost all of the theater productions, and I enjoyed every single one of them. They were a wonderful process. I loved the people that I worked with, and it was the same for jazz band and pep band and all of the theater stuff that I was in. It was very fun. And don't be shy, because everyone has supported me. I've had no one discourage me. And the juniors and seniors are amazing role models to look up to in that, and they aren't as scary as they look. So don't be afraid to try things out.
So teachers aren't as scary as they look, and so it's kind of funny. But so one of the things was with my math teacher, I was struggling a little bit at the beginning of the year, and he gave up his time and he allowed me to meet with him at the beginning of the day, and he was always just making sure that I was up to date on everything and that I was continuing to succeed in his class. And all the teachers at KML, they're always very willing to help.
Okay. Next, make sure that you're organized right away. A few tips are to have a planner to help you organize all of your classes, what you have in each class, what your assignment is, and when that you have to have it done. And also for all of your practices that you have. That's very helpful. 2, always have a binder or a notebook for each class. I recommend different colors and labels because that helps you stay organized. And 3, don't let a tornado swallow your locker. It's hard between switching classes so often to keep your locker organized, but always make sure that it is organized so you can find what you need.
And then so I've met some of the closest friends playing sports, and I'm sure that you have as doing other activities. And I just know that playing baseball, I was super close with those guys. They took me in with open arms, and the coaches, they're super friendly. And even if you're playing say you want to play one sport at one time, but you want to play another sport that's going on at that same time, so you want to play 2 fall sports, coaches are very willing and allowing, and they allow you to do both and make sure that you get to both practices. And the coaches are great, and so are all the students that, or your teammates that you play with.
Next is homework is not as bad as you think, as long as you keep track of your assignments and when you have to have them done and you don't pull an all-nighter, then it's pretty much easy to stay on top of things. And if you're ever struggling, you can always switch to an easier science or math class, and the Learning Center always helps too.
Thanks, guys. This time I'm going to chat about a few student life items with you. You can see up on the screen, I serve KML as the Director of Student Culture. In that role, I work through proactive and reactive discipline, attendance, school safety, and along with Mr. Leary and Mr. Shane, kind of day-to-day operation of the high school. Pastor Hughes, he's our campus pastor. He serves the students and your families as kind of a spiritual life advisor. And then we also have Jessica Martinez. She's our school-based therapist from Christian Family Solutions. She works to support students in emotional and mental well-being. As you embark on the next 4 years, there's some really important priorities that you need to balance. First, as Mr. Leary talked about, we're all about faith here. Nourish your faith life through personal Bible study in your own personal life, being involved in your church. That's really important. And then number 2, family is important as well. As you go into high school, they're your support system. And then academics, that's a really big deal. High school's a really quick time. It goes really fast. So making sure that's a priority and staying on top of schoolwork and things like that is super important. Activities, get involved, meet those new friends. They just talked about some of those great opportunities. We want you involved. That's kind of where you find your group of people here at high school. And then just an encouragement, as you start your high school career, it can be easy to also want to start your work career. Since COVID, lots of part-time jobs have really encouraged high school students to get working, and they demand a lot out of them, and they're working long hours, so just make sure That's probably the least important of all those things on the list, that you're prioritizing all those other things before a part-time job. At KML, Mr. Lear talked about this. We have this phrase, Christ's love compels us to live God's way at KML. It's what we're all about. It's what our student body is all about. They designed these culture words to guide how we view ourselves and how we interact with each other. Gratefulness, humility, integrity, unity, leadership, drive, and support. At the start of the school year, we'll focus on these in our chapels. We'll talk about these in our Word of God classes. This is what drives our mission, vision, and values here at KML. Students, as you get into high school, you can have a lot more diverse classes with more teachers that have different styles. And you're gonna have a lot more elective choices as you make your way through high school. Embrace that, be encouraged by that. It's gonna be a really good time. But also use all the skills you learn in grade school to help guide you on that path. Your schoolwork is really important. In high school, it's more than just memorization and writing down facts. It's collaboration and being creative and communicating with your peers and your teachers and using critical thinking skills. Your homework, there's probably going to be more. There's a potential increase there from what you experience in grade school, so be ready for that. And you're going to have to learn how to prioritize what you're doing for your homework. You have multiple teachers that have different teaching styles and different amounts of assignments. There are going to be some long-term projects, so it's important that you prioritize your time and make sure you're staying on top of deadlines. F's and zeros matter when those end up in the grade books. If you get too many F's or zeros, you might have to retake the course, and we don't want you to have to do that. And really, your resume building for your future starts now, whether you want to go to a 4-year college, a 2-year college, into the military, workforce, whatever it is, that starts in August when you enroll or when you come here as a freshman. Attendance matters. Being here at school every day can never not being here, doing homework from home, can never replace being in the building here at class. If you're going to be absent, you're responsible for making up that work. Making up the work is not the same as being here at school. We encourage families to really prioritize when you're taking time away from school. Try to avoid family vacations during the school year. Use our Christmas and Easter breaks that are in the schedule. We do understand sometimes special family things come up, and we just ask that you be really proactive in communicating with the office and with the teachers when that's going to happen. Just like the students talked about, organization matters. Students, find a system that works for you, whether it's a Google Calendar or a written planner. Just make sure you know what's coming up when. Chip away daily at your work. I teach sophomore Word of God. They love to procrastinate. If I assign a project that's due in 3 weeks, they'll start working on it the night before. Don't be like sophomores. Start on day one and continue all throughout your high school career so that you can be on top of all your schoolwork. Students, when you get to high school, you get to become your own advocate and communicate. So that's just encouragement for you to seek out your teachers, ask questions. They want to help you. They're going to help you if you're struggling. All you need to do is ask. Most of them are really nice people. Modes of communication. Students and parents, there's a lot of different ways school communicates with you. First off, PowerSchool. That's where you find all of the information about your grades, course information. Teachers put grades in there. Parents, you can have access to that. Students, you'll be able to see that as well. Our student handbook is found online at kmlhs.org/handbook. I'd encourage you all to just skim that, know our expectations, know our dress code, know the things that we want you to do and know about before school starts. And then finally, a big part of being in high school is checking your email on a daily basis. I get a lot of students that ask me questions. I'm like, yeah, it's in your email. Like, people email you these things so you can understand what's going on here at KML. Finally, some encouragements for parents as you help your teen over the next 4 years. Pray for them and love them. This is a time to start kind of letting go a little bit. But still stay involved, share your knowledge and experience, be a listening ear as they work through the next 4 years. Communicate with other parents to kind of share your expectations, especially when you're having other teens over to your home and things like that. Support our school expectations that we lay out for you in the handbook. Things like cheating and plagiarism in different classes. Be cognizant of all the dangers that your teen can fall into in high school, whether it's alcohol, vape, drugs. Social media, this is encouragement for both parents and teens that are in the room. It's really easy to post something to social media that has lifelong ramifications, so just thinking about what you're posting, making sure it's speaking well of yourself and your peers and your school, and also parents, just keep a watchful eye on what your children are doing on social media as well. Another encouragement for parents when challenges arise, please speak directly to us. We want to be here for you and answer the questions you have and find the solutions that you need. You can reach out to any of the people that present tonight and we can get you in touch with the right person to answer your questions. We encourage you to speak positively about KML, our teachers, and our staff members. And throughout high school, there's going to be inevitable disappointments. Your teen may get cut from a sport or not get in the lead part in a musical. Help change those disappointments into learning experiences for your child as they walk through the next 4 years here at KML. At the start of the school year, next school year, there will be a mental health check-in for all of our freshmen and new students. This is provided by Christian Family Solutions, just an informal check-in to identify any of your teen's behavior or emotional strengths or challenges. That's offered to our incoming students. It's completely voluntary. Parents, you can opt your children out of this process if you wish. You just gotta let us know. We also do have mental health counseling available for our students. We have a counselor here who's here 5 days a week and one who's here 2 days a week. So they meet with students on a regular basis. It's a very normal thing for our student body to get help in this fashion. If your teen needs help, just reach out to me and I can complete a referral. You then will get some paperwork from Christian Family Solutions through an online intake form. Then our counselors will schedule appointments with your teen to help them through that. The first 3 sessions or hours of those appointments are offered at no cost to you through generous donors to Christian Family Solutions through something called the Teen Assistance Fund. After that, they work with you to set up options for private pay or health insurance pay. Lastly, these are probably some of the most important people in our building. They're our main office staff. You see up there Amy Hansen, Rhea Robinson, and Chelsea Brandel. They work hard to make sure that our school runs well on a daily basis. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to them. If you have questions, especially about school choice, Chelsea Brandel will be able to answer those for you. Rhea does a lot of work with attendance, so she's somebody you can reach out to about that as well. Thanks for your time.
Good evening. My name is Joshua Shanik. I serve as the Director of Student Services and lead the Student Services team that you see up on the screen here. So that consists of Jerry Zemer, who's our admissions guy, which you have all probably shaken his hand tonight. Jason Waltz, who's our College and Career Guidance Director, and then our Administrative Assistant, Becky Chemnitz, who you probably also saw out there this evening. I'll run through some of the things that these people will do for you in your time here. So it would be safe for me to say that probably every single one of you has met Jerry. And Jerry likes to meet lots of people. So he's the first face that many people see when they come into KML. That's really his main job, is to welcome people, get you here, and then hand you off to the rest of the high school staff to help you through your years as a high school student. So freshmen, you'll get a chance to meet with Mr. Zemer a couple weeks into the school year. He meets with every single freshman to find out how things are going in your life and how things are going for you in school. He kind of eases that process forward. So if you registered for school after our December nights, you probably sat down with Mr. Zemer and he helped you pick out schedules for classes and stuff like that. That's kind of his role, and then that's going to transition into me, for the most part, taking care of helping you get through high school. So I kind of help with the admissions process also, but then I oversee selecting courses and placement testing, schedule changes, making sure that you stay on track to meet all your graduation requirements, report cards, transcripts, that all stuff kind of comes out of my office. And then Power School that Mr. Albrecht referred to earlier is administered by me. So if you ever have an issue with that, I'm the guy that you want to get in touch with. My job then is to kind of hand you on to the next step of Mr. Waltz. So Mr. Waltz is somebody who you probably won't spend a lot of time with as a freshman, but the further along in the years you get in high school, the more time you'll end up spending with him. You'll start off with some group meetings, probably as a sophomore. Juniors and seniors start to get some individual meetings with him. He's really the guy who's going to help you figure out what you want to do after high school and help you get on the path to be successful in getting there. So some of the things that he does is, in addition to guidance, he coordinates our youth apprenticeship program, so a partnership with the state of Wisconsin. If you're a junior or senior, you would get into an apprentice situation during those years and be absent from school for part of the day to go and do that. He also coordinates Aspire and ACT testing, so when we take those big tests, he'll be the one who'll sit down with you and go over your results with those. And then he helps you with that transition, and that transition can be to lots of different things. Four-year college, two-year college, military, workforce. This is kind of a picture of what our graduates look like after they're done with Mr. Waltz. This is where he's helping them get to. So our average ACT score is at 22.3 compared to Wisconsin, which is 19.4. About 80% of our graduates go on to what you'd probably call a traditional four-year college experience. But then there's a good percentage of them, another 10%, that are going to go to a technical, or you might call it a two-year college, and then another 10% or so that go into the military or directly into the workforce. So we'll hopefully help you find your path into which one of those situations is going to be the right thing for you. Mr. Waltz also helps with this. All students do volunteer service every year, so 4 hours every semester are required. And then some other information about what kids do. So about 45% of our students, almost half the kids, take an AP class of some kind. 75% of them take an honors course of some kind, and about 40% or so are involved in a band or a choir. So you can help start to see where you might fit into those numbers. Mrs. Krause, who I'm going to have stand up down in the corner over here so you can see who she is. Yeah, there you go. She is our Learning Center administrator. So Mrs. Krause and I work together quite a bit. The goal of our Learning Center, and that may be a new term for some of you, is to encourage and work with all KML students who need some kind of academic support. We try to get people away from thinking that it's just for kids who are really, really struggling and don't know how to do stuff. In the Learning Center, about 25% of our kids in the school are working through there at any given time. So those struggles can be a variety of different things. If you as parents would like to get some advice from her or think that she might be able to support your student coming into the new school year, please do reach out to her. That's part of why she's here tonight, in case you have questions for her. So it's a big, important part of what we do at KML to have students be successful. That Learning Center helps us intercept them when we start to see that they're struggling and try to help them and address those needs that they have. So the registration process. You guys are on the path to this, but I often get questions about what all do I need to do or finish in order to make sure that my kid is going to be able to enroll. And so there are 4 big pieces to this. This is a big overview, and I'll go into a little bit more detail. So number 1, you got to sit down and tell us, hey, I'm coming to KML, and these are the classes that I want to take. And I'm going to guess that the majority of you in this room have already done that. You did that in December, where you sat down with Mr. Zemer. The second piece of that is that if you're going to take any classes that are upper level, honors classes, you would need to take a placement test. And again, many of you have already taken care of all that stuff or are already scheduled for math placement testing this week or next week or something like that. If you haven't done that, and you still want to or need to, it's not too late. So there were dates that some of those things were set, that we had large group testings, but if you missed those dates, you can still contact the individual teachers who run those testings, and they would still do a test for you. So that's step one. Number two is billing setup. And I'll emphasize this because the people in the fiscal office struggle sometimes to make sure that everybody takes care of this. So I want to make sure and emphasize to you that I do understand that there are some people who their tuition is paid through a voucher, through the choice program or SNSP. Even those people still need to go through this process. There's some more paperwork. The two big things are the athletic form and the immunization form. And then finally, sometime in June, you will get that magic email from me that tells you exactly what courses you're going to be in, which periods of the day, who your teachers are going to be, and most importantly, what lunch you're going to be in. You laugh. All right, so course selection. Here again, I mentioned some of those things. That's the list of courses that you would need a placement test for. If you wanted to get into Honors Algebra 1, Honors Algebra 2, Geometry, Honors Geometry, Biology, Honors Biology, Computer Applications, Academic and Business, Spanish 2, or Wind Symphony. So if you think you want to get into one of those, you've got to take care of that placement test. Course selections. It's never too late to change your mind. So you have some information already about what you picked for courses. As you've worked through, maybe it's been a couple of months since December, maybe you're trying to figure something out back and forth. If you decide that you want to change what you're taking, you just shoot me an email and we'll make that change for you. It's not a big deal, it's perfectly normal, happens to lots of people all the time. Just shoot me an email, that's the best way to do that. The preferable by April. Sometime in the next month or so, I will start trying to put together the schedule for next year. The more that I can know about what you want to take before the schedule goes together, the easier it is for me to get you into all the classes that you want to take. Once I have the schedule all put together, it can be a little bit more difficult to then shift you to a different class. So again, don't ever be afraid to ask to change something, but if you are thinking you want to make a change, you can let me know. The sooner the better. Another question that I get, so we have many courses here that are taught by multiple teachers. So for example, Mr. Albrecht said before that he teaches Word of God 10. You do that along with 5 other people. So you may get any one of those teachers. We generally ask that you do not ask, hey, I'd really like to have so-and-so for a teacher. We really put together the schedule to try and get everybody into the best mix of classes that they can. So even though you may love Mr. Zemer, please don't ask to be in his class, which is fine because you won't be anyway because he doesn't teach freshman. Weekly voice, piano, organ, and instrument lesson information. So we offer all of those things. They are not courses, but they are either once or twice a week lesson, or once a week or every other week lessons. Information about what's available, costs of all that stuff will come to you in June when you get your course schedule information. They wait until your course schedule is figured out to schedule you for those lessons anyway, so it's not a big deal to wait until then. Finances, I mentioned before about Blackbaud Tuition Management. There are the tuition rates. Again, everybody needs to set up an account with Blackbaud Tuition Management. It's a mouthful, I know. The link there will take you to a set of instructions on how to do this. If you have another student already attending KML, you may have already taken care of this. You should all be getting an email from me tonight that'll have a recap of this presentation, but it'll have that exact same reminder and link for you that, hey, you need to go here and take care of that piece of information. Tuition assistance application. The deadline for that was yesterday, and I just want to let you know that they will be informing people about what the awards were for the tuition assistance sometime in the next month. So sometime in May, you will get that information. the KML fiscal office. Choice application deadline. So if you are hoping to get a voucher through the Wisconsin Parental Choice Program or the Milwaukee Parental Choice Program, and you haven't already done the application process, you have 3.5 days to do that yet. So, and if you need any help with that, get in touch with Kettle, specifically Mrs. Brandel in the front office. She will help you go through that process if you have not taken care of that yet. Fiscal office people, so Mrs. Menard there is our accounts receivable and is the tuition payment contact. So if you ever have any questions about either setting up Blackbaud tuition management, or once you're in there and payments start coming out that something doesn't look right or you've got a question about it, she's your contact person for that. Questions about the financial aid packages and that stuff should be going to Mr. Murphy, who is our business manager. Athletic forms. For those of you who have had students here in the past, note that last year we changed some stuff to make this a little bit more online. So you will all be getting in the mail a physical piece of paper that is the form, the WIA form that you have to take to your doctor to get signed that your kid had a physical and all that. However, that physical piece of paper is not going to come back to KML. So on that piece of paper, there will be instructions on how you can go through and complete the process of submitting that online. So don't bring that piece of paper back to school. Don't drop it off here. Look at the instructions that come with it, because there's going to be an online process that you go through to submit that. That form is required for any students who's going to participate in athletics, and we have to have that stuff finalized before you're allowed to start practices. So especially kids who are going to be in fall sports, that's a big thing that you need to get taken care of before those practices start. Immunization form. This is probably the same form that you've seen 8-9 times for your kid filling it out every year in grade school. It's the exact same form as from the state of Wisconsin. You get a copy of it from us, and you will have to update that, and that is a physical piece of paper that does have to come back to the building here. We ask that you get that back to us by the first day of school. Technology stuff. So there are 2 pieces of tech that your kid has to have to come to KML. One of them is going to be a Chromebook, which you can purchase on your own. You might have one that you're going to bring because they had it in grade school this last year, or in a mailing that'll come out to you into May, June, something like that. We always do a group buy, so we have a discounted rate that you can get in on. And that information will come to you about what that's going to be for this year. We haven't picked out a model for that yet. There's information if you want to purchase your own at kmlhs.org/BYOT that would help you figure out what kind of a model you might want to buy. And then the other piece of tech that your kid needs to have is a calculator. And it needs to be more than just a simple calculator. We're looking for a TI-84, so Texas Instruments 84. There are several different models, the Plus, the Silver C, or the CE. All of them work, but you need to find one of those. If you got questions about which might be better for your child and what path they're taking in math, Mr. Keel is your guy to get in touch with. Another important thing, Mr. Albrecht mentioned before, email address. We do a lot of communication both to parents and kids via email. Students, you will get the information about your email address for KML in June when you get your course schedule. So look for that, and as soon as you get that information, log in, because you're going to start to have people getting in touch with you about all sorts of stuff that is going on at KML. Transportation. So you have a couple of options for how you can get to school. If you live in the Germantown or West Bend School District, and I emphasize the live-in part there because with some open enrollment stuff that people aren't necessarily attending schools in the districts where they belong, this gets a little fuzzy. But you need to live in the district, one of those 2 districts. If you do that, you qualify for bus transportation that's provided by the public school system. We provide 2 those districts the list of all the kids who come to Kettle who live in those districts. So you don't have to do anything with this to begin with. We're going to send that information, and sometime in June or July or in August or whenever they decide to get around to it, and it could be by email or by phone call or by letter, because they've done it all those different ways in the last 3 years, you should be getting a contact from them that will say, hey, we found out that you're going to Kettle Moraine Lutheran High School and that you live in this area and you qualify for bus transportation. If you would like to use that, do X. So if that's something that you want and need, make sure to look for that and respond to it appropriately to the bus company. If you don't get any information from them, and you need to reach out to somebody, that's the phone number that you need to call. That's Right Way Bus Company. We also, KML runs a van service that goes all the way out to Hartford and Eustisford, and then comes back through and picks up some kids in Slinger. If that is a transportation option that you're looking for information about how you could participate in, Mrs. Chemnitz, my assistant, is the one that you want to reach out and contact. We do ask that you do that fairly soon so that we can have an idea of how many seats we need on that van. And then in addition to that, there are many students who carpool. So if you would like to investigate carpooling and you don't know who to get in touch with, again, contact Mrs. Chemnitz and she can put you in touch with other parents who live in your area who might be interested in getting into a carpool with you. International student housing. So Kettle does host international students, mainly from the Southeast Asia. If you are interested in hosting a student, there is a payment that you get once a month to do that to help defray your costs. If you have an interest in doing that, please get in touch with me and I can provide you with more information about that opportunity. And then one thing, if you are not familiar with this area necessarily, there's going to be a big construction project this summer on Highway 60 going right through Jackson. If that is a path that you will be or do already travel, there's going to be closings, shutdowns, one-way traffic, all that stuff, starting I think already today through whenever they finish the project up. So be aware of that, especially the fact that I know one of the things that they're going to be doing is having one-way traffic that you can get through 60 one way, but then you're going to have to go around to go the other way. So Kettle's down here in the corner, if you're not familiar with it, where that is. Important dates, mandatory new athlete parent meeting. So if you are going to participate in athletics in any form in the next year, you have to attend this meeting. That is on August 7th to 7 p.m. If you are unable to attend that meeting due to a scheduling conflict, we do have some other ways for you to accomplish what needs to be done there. But if you don't, please try and make sure that you're there, put that on your calendar. Freshman student orientation. So at the beginning of the school year, all the freshmen, we have you come on campus for a good chunk of the day. We're going to do a lot of different things with you, activities, take you through your course schedule, help you find your locker, have you practice unlocking your locker, all that good stuff. That's on August 14th, and we want the students here at 3:30. And there's going to be an orientation part that the students do from 3:30 to 6:30. And then when we get to, until 6 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock, parents, we want you to come back. We're going to meet all together as a group, parents and students. We'll do some presentation stuff up here. You get to see the three of us talk again on the stage. It'll be amazing. And then parents will take you through your child's schedule so that you can get to meet all of your students' teachers. And while we're doing that terribly exciting thing, your kids are going to go back and eat pizza in the cafeteria and then play in the gym. And then at the end of the night, you'll all get to go home together. First day of school is August 17th. We do school pictures on the first day of school, so make sure you dress nicely for that. And then all the other dates of stuff that goes on here at Kettle, online calendar, KMLHS.org/calendars is where you can find that. not? Can you read all that from up there? Good. It's not meant for you to read from there. You're going to get a copy of this presentation. This is a big, long list of all sorts of people who you might want to contact for all sorts of different things. So their contact information is on there, so you can look at it in the presentation. And I'll give you this next slide, because if you want that presentation, you can click that QR code up there as well. 2 final announcements before we let you go. Yeah? August 19th. Thank you.
You guys can handle starting on the 17th.
Yep. So 2 big announcements for you before you leave. Number 1, on the tables outside there are these lovely signs. So if you would like to promote the fact that you're going to be attending KML next year, you can pick up one of these yard signs. Please do not forget to also grab one of these so that you can actually stick it in your lawn out front. So you need this guy and this guy. Those are sitting on the tables out there. In addition to that, next year, super exciting, freshmen for PE class, you get to wear a t-shirt that we give you. And we want to know what size you want to wear. So on the tables outside there are some sheets. You should find all of your names on them. If you go out there on your way out, find your name on the sheet on any one of the tables. Just put down what t-shirt size you're going to wear, and we'll make sure that that's the size that you get for PE for next year. That is all I have for you guys this evening. All of us will be around for some time for questions if you guys want to come and talk to us, or if you want to just stay out of the rain for a little while. But that's it. Thanks for coming. We're excited to see you next year.